Voting today on a bill that could force the sale of TikTok here in the U.S. as the company's CEO holds meetings in D.C. and the stakes are very high.
Director Haynes, you cannot rule out that the CCP could, again, just like they did here, use TikTok as a platform to influence 2024 elections, right?
We cannot rule out that the CCP could use it. Correct.
You just saw Congressman Raja Krishnamoorthi, who introduced the TikTok bill, asking that question, and he joins us now. Congressman, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, everybody.
So the CEO of TikTok is going to be meeting with senators on Capitol Hill this week, and the word on that is that the company thinks that this bill is going to pass the House, and now the CEO is going to try and convince senators to vote it down. Does that concern you?
Well, I don't know what exactly is going to happen in the Senate, but today we're trying to get it passed through the House. I'm cautiously optimistic. I think it's a great bill. It basically does two things. It basically requires that ByteDance, which is controlled by the Chinese Communist Party, divest itself of TikTok. We want TikTok to continue to operate. We just don't want the CCP to have its claws in it.
China experts have said that they feel China would rather shut down the app entirely than actually make billions upon billions of dollars if it means they got that money because the U.S. government forced the CCP to do something. Your response to that, Congressman?
Well, look, it's going to be up to the CCP and ByteDance, but golly gee, I mean, the economy in China right now is horrible. Xi Jinping is courting outside investors like crazy to come in and invest in China. And to zero out that investment, to basically tank it just out of spite, would be a horrible way to try to repair his economy. I don't know what they're going to do, but we have to protect our national security first and foremost. And that's why I think so many legislators are going to vote for this bill today.
Yeah, and Congressman, looking into the potentially not so distant future, if this bill does pass the House and Senate and the president signs it into law and then ByteDance does not separate from TikTok, practically speaking, what happens next? What can people who use the app expect? Will it just disappear from their phones?
Well, basically, ByteDance will have 6 months to complete this sale. But the bill basically requires that all data be ported into another app and that there be some continuity of data protection. But again, I think that this will continue to operate. This is not without precedent. In the past, the U.S. government has actually required Chinese companies to divest themselves of other social media apps. One of them was a popular app called Grindr, which had very sensitive information about U.S. government and military officials with regard to their LGBTQ status. And the Trump administration successfully got the Chinese to sell it. There was no disruption in service, and the sale happened like that because it was a valuable social media app, just like TikTok.
Carly mentioned Biden. You mentioned Trump. The bedfellows on this one are really strange because you have Trump, who once tried to ban TikTok, outright ban it, who's now kind of supporting TikTok, and you have Biden, who endorsed your bill, mind you, but whose campaign still uses TikTok actively. In 30 seconds, Congressman, what is your message to the two men running to be our next president?
Well, look, I think with regard to former President Trump, one of his biggest concerns is whether Meta would basically acquire TikTok. And I think regulators probably would not allow that because of antitrust concerns. With regard to President Biden, look, I don't have TikTok on my personal phone. It's banned from government devices. It's legal to have, but I would just tell everyone to please exercise caution with regard to this app. Unfortunately, the CCP has access to data as well as can manipulate the algorithm that creates the content of TikTok.